Hello everyone, welcome back. So I took a break last week to spend some time with my mom for Mother's Day. It was nice to be with my family. I hope each of you had a chance to be with your families as well. But we're getting back to it now, and so I wanted to take some time tonight to look at a trade that I'm going to take this week, specifically on Hasbro. And so we'll look at some of the details surrounding that trade and kind of go through my technical analysis for it. And then of course I'll follow this video up with another video in a day or two, possibly a week, and we'll see how this trade works out. But without anything more from me, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the different fundamental data and the technical data that has kind of led me to believe that this trade could work out in the next few days. First thing I want to look at together is the price prediction. These don't hold much value, but it is nice to see that they are in agreement with your own assumption, or with my assumption in this case. And so you can see here on the screen for 522, the kind of the minimum and maximum prices, 58.48 to 63.90. Now I'm kind of eyeballing somewhere around this 58 level as my profit target, and we'll get into that more when we look at the chart here in a second. But again, they don't hold a lot of value. From stockinvest.us, it's a website that I look at from time to time. I don't use it a lot. But I just wanted to take a look at kind of what the predictions were out there about Hasbro really over the next week, or any near-term predictions. And it looks like they're a sell candidate. You can see the current score is negative, sell candidate. They hold a negative evaluation for the stock. So just wanted to get a look at what essentially the computers were predicting is going to happen with Hasbro over the next few weeks. Now that we've seen what the computers, I guess, think are kind of the price predictions that are out there for Hasbro, let's take a look at my fundamental analysis, and you'll see the acceptable buy price immediately on the screen in the big square in the middle is $63.64. But I got to looking at it, and you can see here with the cell that I've got highlighted, the PE ratio is 70.14, and that just seems really, really high. And I didn't dig too much into it, and I'm not going to in this video. I may do that off camera just to kind of get a better idea of why the price to earnings ratio is so high. Because it is so high, let's take a look back here at let's kind of look at kind of a comparison to another company that's in a similar industry. Now, it's not an apples to apples comparison. There's a number of things that would really invalidate this comparison, I should say. The 70.14 just kind of shocked me how high it was. So I wanted to look at a company with a similar PE ratio, and you can see here again is Hasbro's PE ratio from ycharts.com. Taking a look at Mattel, which market cap wise, it's a much smaller company than Hasbro. And I'm sure there's a number of different things that I'm not even thinking of or don't know off the top of my head that would make these companies different. You can see the price to earnings multiple for Mattel is 25.76, so a huge difference there. So if we take this back off the screen and we take a look at the PE ratio, and I just changed that to somewhere near what Mattel's is, you can see now the acceptable buy price is $42.98. So it gives me, and you can see the analysis score here from the way I kind of analyze the stock fundamentally is to currently just to wait. So I'm thinking it may not be a bearish sentiment in the Hasbro market, but it's also not a bullish sentiment. And so with that, I think price could track a little bit lower. Let's go and take a look at the chart. And you can see just the other day, I'm going to go and zoom in here a little bit, just so we can see it a bit better. Just the other day we did have a cross, which if you followed my channel before, you know I look for a cross below the 9 EMA as kind of my trigger or my entry, and it looks like it's tracking a little bit lower. And I told you earlier in the video that I'm looking at about the 58 level, and you can see this kind of these gray bars here, these gray lines. That's the expected move for the upcoming week. And I'm kind of targeting price to come down into this expected move area of around 57, 58. And if it does, we'll be looking at a pretty nice profit. Just to look at the other technical indicators, you can see RSI is turning lower. And you can see the TTM squeeze indicator also looks like maybe it wants to kind of track lower. And so all of those things kind of working together kind of lead me to think that there may be a little bit of bearishness coming into this market. You can see this pinkish line here is the 200 period SMA, and you can see it, price kind of touched it and bounced right off of it. Additionally, this yellow line here is the 1 standard deviation channel, and you can see price may want to try to start trading back inside there. If we zoom back out, you can see price pretty consistently stays inside that 1 standard deviation channel. I don't know what's on the back end of this standard deviation channel, or when that slope may start to slope upward. But it does look like, at least at the moment, that it might want to pull back inside there. So I don't know what's exactly going to happen. You can see there's been a bullish trend in Hasbro as of late, and so that bullish trend may hold, and this may just be Hasbro kind of having a down day with the overall market. The market's been a little bit weak as they try to figure out what's going on with this debt ceiling. I haven't looked into that too much, so I don't know all the details there. I'm predicting, or I'm hoping, that we can get a little bit of a downward move. So with that, let's go ahead and take a look at the analysis tab, or actually let's go ahead and start with the trade page and take a look at the trade that I'm identifying here. And the trade that I want to take is I want to sell the 62.50 and I want to buy the 65. It's right at the money. It's a 250 wide spread, so we will be putting up a little bit more risk than we're returning. But again, if you've seen any of these videos before, you know I'm not going to hold this for the next 27 days. I'm looking to be out of this trade by the first 2 or 3 days. At most, I would hold it till Friday of this upcoming week. So the current price for this particular spread is 62. Now I'm going to try to get a little bit more aggressive, thinking that price may try to pop back up because we do have this bullish trend here. I'm thinking price may try to come back up. But let's take a look at the Analyze tab, and I've got the 70-cent target. So if I'm able to get that, price would have to come back all the way to about $60.74, 76 cents. So not a huge jump from where it currently is at $60.32. That could easily be achieved throughout the day on Monday with the normal range. The average true range, just taking a quick look for Hasbro here, is $1.99 per day over the last year. So it's very reasonable to think that throughout the day we may get a spike higher to $60.76, so we can get filled with a little better credit. Of course, just looking at the price slices that I've got here, if it moves down to 58 or somewhere in that range that I'm hoping that it will, I'll make about $30, $35. I like the look of this trade at this moment. I'm just hoping that we can get a little bit of bearish pressure to Monday or Tuesday, kind of drive it down to about 58. I really still am kind of bullish on Hasbro just based on what I'm seeing, but in near term, I'm thinking that we are going to get a little bit of bearishness here and price will track down to about that 58 level. And again, if we do get somewhere near that $58 level, I'll be looking at about a $35 profit on this trade. I'll be more than happy with that for the risk that I'm taking, and I'll move on to the next one. But guys, stay tuned until next week. I'll have a follow-up video on this video, and you guys can let me know what you think in the comments below. But hope everybody had a great Mother's Day last week, and I hope you have a great week this week. Until the next video, God bless and take care.